Jesus Christ. How's it going? Welcome to the channel. So today we're taking a look at this GLEERIDE EC540, I think is what it's called. Nice little step through, very budget bike. All right, we'll start off with the powertrain. This thing's rocking a 500 watt eternally geared rear hub motor, peaks at 1000 watts, and that's paired with a 48 volt 15 amp hour battery here, nicely situated behind the seat there. It's got mechanical brakes, mechanical disc brakes on 160 millimeter rotors. You got the same setup in the front and the rear, just your very sort of basic, levers there. It does come with a rear rack. I think these generally are good for, 75 and 100 pounds, something like that. It's a 7-speed bike with a Shimano derailleur with your standard e-bike trigger shifter there. Got your basic e-bike pedals. You got your ergo grips here, which is standard on most e-bikes. You got a smaller one here. You got your half throttle here for acceleration. Doesn't come with a horn. You got this little bell here, but I guess that's sufficient. And then your controls are just power up and down. These are for your turn signals. It does come with turn signals, and then you got your power buttons, so pretty basic. And then display, you got your charge state, you got your speed. This is your power mode, and then odometer, and that's pretty much it. Very basic. I wish they would give you the percentage or voltage up here, because a lot of times these bars don't really mean a whole lot. It does have a front headlight here. It also comes with a brake light with turn signals. Turn signals are pretty bright. You can see them pretty good in the light. You got 20-inch spoked wheels with 20 by 3-inch fat tires with this sort of dual sporty type tread on them. You got plastic fenders in the front and the rear, and it's a decent seat. It's a little hard for my taste as a heavier guy, but for most people that's going to be just fine. So the rear rack does come with like little holes right here to hook bungee cords and stuff like that to hold stuff on your rack, so that's kind of cool. It does have front forks, front suspension here. They are non-adjustable, pretty stiff. They feel pretty good for me at like 275 pounds, so they're going to be good for most people. No suspension in the rear, but you do have these big 3-inch fat tires here to absorb a lot of the bumps and stuff like that. It does come with these little screws. You can put accessories here, water bottle, whatever. And that's about it for the specs. Let's just go take it for a ride and do some testing. All right, so this bike has like kind of 2 speed modes. One is throttle only, which is limited to 20 miles an hour, and the other one is pedal assist, which is limited to 28 miles an hour. So we'll start with throttle only. We're going uphill right now, so let's see how it does on a slight uphill. Holding, let's see, it dropped to 18 a little bit, holding 19 actually pretty well going uphill. We'll test a much steeper hill in a minute here, but all right, now let's try it downhill, see how fast we can get. Just slightly downhill. I mean, it's limited to 20 miles an hour, so it's probably just gonna hit 20 and cut out. Yep, 20. Let's see if we can maintain 20 on throttle only on a flat surface here. Yeah, about 19 miles an hour, 20 miles an hour, it's fine. Alright, so now let's do pedal assist only. This should get us up to 28 miles an hour. Alright, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Now going uphill, it's dropping to about 23, 22. It's holding 22 miles an hour uphill, not too shabby. Now let's go downhill. This bike is actually pretty torquey for, I think it's a 500 watt 1000 peak. I'll correct myself if I'm wrong. It's either a 500 or a 750, but it actually feels a lot more powerful than that for some reason. Maybe because the bike's so light. It actually has really good acceleration. Alright, so I hit 28. Now on a flat surface, I'm hitting 25 miles an hour. Yeah, 25 on a flat surface. I'm like 275 pounds right now, so if you're lighter than that, you probably get up to 28 miles an hour, no problem. But yeah, for a cheap little bike like this, it's actually not too shabby. The acceleration feels pretty good on throttle. Jesus Christ. I didn't tighten these good enough. Well, that's what happens when you don't tighten your handlebars good enough. It doesn't seem like there's a way to unlock the throttle. I went through the settings and I couldn't really find anything. The only speed I found was related to the pedal assist, so I think throttle is pretty much locked at 20 miles an hour, which is alright. So it's a class 3 bike since it can throttle to 20 and pedal to 28. So let's see how fast the pedal assist comes on though. Let's see. It's a cadence sensor. So let's see. 1. Oh, pretty quick. Let's see. Try that again. Yeah, within... Let's try that one more time. Yeah, 1 turn. Maybe less than a turn. Let me try it again over here. Yeah, maybe 3/4 of a turn. That's actually pretty good for a cadence sensor. Yeah, so if you want top speed, you're going to have to pedal. But the acceleration actually feels a bit better with throttle. So I would say taking off if you want, better torque, or if you're going uphill from a standstill, I would use throttle than start with pedal assist. Since it does have some basic suspension and like kinda off-roady type tires, let's just do some just very mild off-road right here and see how it feels. Yeah, there's no suspension in the rear, but it does have these front forks. I actually feel pretty stiff. It worked fine for me. Alright, let's see. Yeah, the throttle torque is good for off-road. It does have these, I think they're 3-inch tires. Still pretty fat tires. Let's see. Yeah, it feels alright. It doesn't feel bad at all. Yeah, not bad. So you can definitely take these off mild trails or on grass or something. If you're going to try to find like a little picnic spot or something like that, you can definitely ride on the grass. This is pretty bumpy and it's handling it just fine. This little motor has a surprising amount of torque. So it does have a peak power of 1,000. I think it's pretty sure it's rated for 500. Nominal 1,000 peak. Yeah, so it does, handle these little trails just fine. Has pretty good traction. Has enough torque to kind of make it through like the rougher areas and stuff. So pretty cool. So as far as the ergonomics, it is a pretty compact bike. So this would be pretty good for like women or kids or something like that. Or up to maybe like 5'9" or something before you get, too uncomfortable. I'm 5'9". It's fine for me. I gotta lean over a little bit to get these handlebars because I'm doing pedal assist. I have the seat up a little bit so I can get leg extension. So I am leaning over. I could put the seat all the way down and feel much better, but then it'd be pretty awkward to pedal. So it does come with a 48 volt 15 amp hour battery. It's just kind of like your standard battery for this kind of bike. You're probably looking in between 25-30 miles depending on how you ride it. If you're doing pedal assist, you could probably, level 3, you could probably get like 20, 23, 24, 25 miles, something like that, depending on your rate, depending on your weight and, what kind of terrain you're riding on and stuff like that. I mean, if you live within like, I don't know, 10 miles of work or something like that, this would make like a pretty good commuter bike. Or just for like bombing around the neighborhood like I'm doing here, having fun, going over these bumps and stuff. So coming up over here is going to be a pretty steep uphill section. So what I'll do is I'll first see where it maxes out with the with throttle, and then I'll hit the pedal assist. Now you can see from how this wall steps up that it is uphill. A lot of people argue with me that I'm not actually going uphill. It's just a wide angle camera. But it's 14 miles an hour. Okay, let's hit the pedal assist here and see if we can't get a little higher than that. 14. It's about the same, which is not bad for a steeper hill like this in a small little bike with a pretty fat guy on it. So it actually, the performance is pretty good. And for this price range, I kind of like the power. I'll throw the price up on the screen right here. This is at the time of filming, and then there's probably a discount code down there for you too to take a little bit more off of it. Oh, anyways, back to the ergonomics. So like the seat is a little hard for my taste just because I'm a heavier guy. I would probably buy an aftermarket seat, but for most people it's going to be fine. With that front suspension and the thick wheels, it is a pretty good ride. It absorbs the bumps pretty well, so you're not like getting jarred all the time going over bumps, so it's fairly comfortable. It's just the ergonomics. It's the bike's kind of design, I think, for like kids, teenagers, women, stuff like that, just for smaller people. It's a smaller bike, so it is a little bit on the cheaper side. So it's got these mechanical brakes. It doesn't have hydraulic brakes. But for a bike this small, I mean, you don't really need hydraulic. Mechanical are going to work just fine. But, with me on it, we could just, get up to about, let's just go about right there, see how they do. yeah, it stopped pretty quick. You know, didn't lock up the wheels or anything like that. They are on the smaller side, and they have 160 millimeter rotors instead of like 180 for a lot of bikes, you know. But again, you know, they work. It stopped just fine. You know, there's nothing to worry about with it. It's just not, you know, going to be super high quality compared to higher priced bikes, but you kind of get what you pay for. If you're looking for a budget bike, this will do the job. Again, yeah, pretty good off-road. So it's actually a nice bike for exploring your area if you kind of live similar, area similar to where I live. All right, all in all, it's a solid little bike for the money, of course. You know, it's a great little entry e-bike if you're wanting to buy one for your kid, or, you know, if it's your first e-bike, you want something that's not too powerful and, you know, not too expensive. E-bikes have been around for a long time, so a lot of the components are shared across brands, so they're pretty dialed in. You know, modern regulations prevent you getting the crappy batteries imported that are just going to blow up on you in your garage and stuff like that. They're all pretty safe nowadays, so yeah. Thanks for watching to the end. I really appreciate it. There's going to be a link and probably a discount code in the description there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, all that kind of stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.